Hello everyone, welcome to my channel again. So today we are going to talk about one of the most useful concepts, I would say. It's called mixins. This is not a Python agnostic thing. It's I think people in Java, people who are working in Java, Scala definitely they would use it. Use this mixin concept. So it's just that it's if you think about it, it's just like you are creating. Okay, I think it's easier to reason in Scala than in Python. It's like people would create interfaces. Sorry, mixins in Scala, meaning that just enough so that it can be used. It can be enhanced by other methods that's actually inheriting them. I think in Java you don't have the concept of multiple inheritance, so people use interface to go over that, and they also use the mixin concept there. So in Python's context, I think most people who are working with frameworks like Django and Flask definitely would know about mixins. It's a bit of a intermediate advanced concept, so I thought I'd just address that in this video and let you guys know maybe how would you want to use that, maybe if you're trying to create a framework or trying to write some tools. So firstly, I'll just go over this code and I'll let you know what I'm trying to do. So firstly, I'm trying to create a Python class with some attributes. It has name, age, sex, and profession. So and then we have a print table method. So what I want to do is just given any object. So I want to be able to print that particular uh, print. Want to print that particular object, you know, in a specific way, so it's more readable. That's the use of this print table method here. So I'm looking in the attributes, and for every attribute I'm adding a slash t, and it's just going to print, with tab spaces. So that's the whole idea here. And it's Don't bother about the print table. The what it does actually. It's just I just wanted to know that what are the different uh, things that I use here. I kind of like print an empty line here and things as such. So don't really bother about it. But that's the whole idea of print table. And I have an enhanced version of the print table here. So it takes a format parameter. I'll let you know what actually the format parameter does. But before that, I just want to be able to show you that what's the print table method would do here. So before we actually go over with formatter and things as such, so I'll take this out. uh, Please bear with me for a minute while I find my the IDE. It's definitely not so slow, but it's unusually slow today. But yeah, anyway, so this is the print table method. So what it does is just takes the person's object, and a person's list of objects, and then just prints them in a nice readable way. So yeah, so if you this is the output actually. So whatever I'm highlighting, so this is the output. Um, don't mind about the others, I'll come to that later. So this is what we are trying to achieve with the print table method. But now I want to extend that particular method to have a format. Let's say if it's a tab separated format or a CSV format, I want to have a formatting on top of the print table method. So what I'm trying to do is here just is to get some kind of formatter, let's say a CSV formatter or a tab separator, as I mentioned before, and then add a heading so that the below content becomes more meaningful. For example, if it is a CSV formatter, it's going to be comma separated. So the title is going to be comma separated, and also the rows are going to be comma separated. The rows would be the persons here. So in order to do that, I have to create a formatter object. I want to give the format. If I don't want to go with this approach, I have to have format equal to CSV, comma TS, tab separated values, comma this and that, and it's going to make the code really ugly. I have to do if checks here, if you know what I mean, if CSV, and things as such. So it's going to be more ugly, unmaintainable, and if I want to add more um, formats, it's going to get real ugly actually. So what I'm how I'm going to work with that problem is to try to create a formatter, so that's going to have a header and contents. So without that, the app would fail. And maybe a save file, I don't really bother about it right now. Um, so yeah, ideally we would want to save the file, but we're not going to save right now in this program at least. So we want to have heading and contents method that has to be implemented in the child method. This just gives a structure, so that whoever's trying to implement the text formatter is going to you know uh, add implement these two methods, or else they'll get an exception. So in terms of text formatter, it's going to be tab separated. So all the rows are tab separated, and the heading is tab separated. And in terms of CSV, it's going to be comma separated, as you can see here. Again, the rows are comma separated as well. So yeah, and also there's a HTML formatter, so that's going to add some tags, header tags and maybe t tags, you know, paragraphs or whatever, just for the sake of it. I created these three classes that uh, that's of type formatter. So yeah, so I again create three-person objects. So I think I've created this already before, but yeah, anyways. So I create three-person objects, and I would want to format them, let's say using CSV first, and then maybe using HTML later. So I create two formatters and give the formatter option, the format option to the print table method, to which, as you can see, takes. Let me delete this for a moment because it's going to create some confusion. So it takes a format. Uh, it takes a format variable, and the format is going to have headers. It's going to have some heading method, and it's going to have some content method. So yeah, this is the whole idea. It's just going to print it. It's very generic. So if I run this piece of code, you would see that um, we would have comma separated values formatter. That's one thing, and uh, the HTML separated, the HTML formatter as well. So as we would expect. So we can create as many formatters as we want, and we can use it. Let's say if I want to have another formatter, let's say capitalized formatter, or maybe something like, just for the sake of an example, so just capitalize every word in the header. It can do that. I can do that. But the thing is that if you see, there are some that can be a common functionality between these two. Let's say what if I want my formatter, let's say if I have a formatter that just kind of prints uh, double quotes in the names, name, and if it's Henri theory, and it's going to have double quotes there, and footballer, it's going to have double quotes. So what if I want to create such a formatter that's going to have double quotes, but also it has the tags as well, HTML tags. By the way, it shouldn't be the age, it should be first name, let's say first name, and oops, first name and last name. Same goes here. So yeah, just changing that, it's not age anymore. So if what if I have what if I want to have a formatter, let's say that is uh, that has some codes that's kind of like comma separated, but also would want to have tags. If you don't know what I mean, if what if I want to have uh, a formatter that just adds double quotes to all the values, all the rows, but also has to have tags as well. So that's when we have to think about having mixins, because there's one common functionality which is to format, and then we can add things on top of that. We can add as many functionality as we want on top of that. We can just stack up functionalities. So that's the main idea of having the mixins. So let me just change to age here, so it avoids, it breaks the top level functionality. So I think I have to make changes in the method as well, if I were to change the attribute name. So yeah, what if I want to have, as I mentioned before, what if I want to have some kind of formatter, but that formatter is kind of like a culmination of two or three formatters. So HTML plus double quotes plus CSV formatter. Why not? So that's when you would want to use mixins. So here, if you see, I just changed the text formatter class. I just called the init method for the formatter. Let's say if there's a formatter that I supply through for this text formatter, I call that formatter's init method, and there is a mixin class that just that. Okay, so currently what I'm trying to do is just to add quotes to the HTML tags that we see here, um, so that it becomes two functionalities added together, like with quotes and with HTML. So HTML tags. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to create a quarter mixin here, and I'm going to add the double quotes you see here, right? So this text is going to get the values as HTML, the the rows, and the rows will be double quoted, and on top of that we would have tags as well. So that's the main idea of this mixin. So I have a mixin, you see. By the way, this is common. This is easy to reason, I think, in Python, but maybe not in Java or Scala. So we have quarter mixin and a formatter. So what this formatter is going to do is just take the CSV formatter and just going to add the quarter mixins. Probably not CSV, maybe HTML format. Let's say HTML formatter, and it's going to have these values, but then it's going to have quotes on top of name, age, profession, and things as such. So once again I create values, and I create the object instances, and then I kind of like pass this particular formatter, once a CSV formatter and once a HTML formatter. So let's see how it goes. So by the way, the formatter here is this one. So yeah, let me uncomment the code above so that we don't get confused. Yeah, sorry, it should be commented. Okay. By the way, I'm really fighting with my interpreter. I don't know. Sorry, the ID. What's um? Yeah, let me run. Yep. You see, here I have to give an example. This is the quarter mixin. So you see, Henri, Thierry, they have, and footballer. It all has double quotes, and this is an example of a CSV formatter, and this is an example of uh, a HTML formatter. So we have uh, we have quotes on top of the tags now. So this is the whole idea of mixins. Definitely, when you're dealing with huge frameworks and writing frameworks for yourself, and writing bigger programs, you would definitely face this. It makes the code more manageable, more easier to use, and uh, all in all, it's kind of like magic, if you think about it. So I just created a formatter, and voila, we just have the text with quotes and also the tags. So you can mix in whatever you want. That's the ideal thing. That's the name itself. Just to reiterate, it's just you are mixing different functionalities together and creating some kind of a class that you can use depending on the functionality. So that's the main use of the mixins. Uh, so yeah, you just implement the things that you want essentially, just so that can be used by uh, it can be used by other methods or classes. So that's the idea of mixins. It's an object-oriented concept, so it is a bit heavy. I think if you go over the video again, if you try to understand it, I think it'll make more sense. If you don't understand it in the first try, yeah, that's okay. I guess I didn't understand it in the first try. So yeah, I hope it helped. Um, Thanks for watching my video. If you have any suggestions, let me know. If you like it, give a thumbs up. Thank you.